You know that feeling when you're drawn to someone who seems untouchable, someone whose walls are so high that it seems impossible to break through. Let's face it, there's something irresistible about a woman who challenges you, refuses to settle for the ordinary, and is resistant to cheap tricks or superficial charm. But the problem is, how do you get through to someone who seems determined to keep her heart locked away? In today's video, we're delving into what it really takes to connect with a difficult woman, not by playing games, but by creating something sincere and irresistible. Stay tuned because the solution lies in a combination of understanding psychology, practicing emotional intelligence, and embracing a little bit of Stoic wisdom to navigate this challenge like a pro. Let's start by respecting her independence. Respect her independence. She has probably spent years creating a life she loves, one in which she isn't waiting for someone to come along and save the day. She may be amenable to someone who adds value to her already satisfying life, but she isn't waiting for someone to come along and save the day. Believe me, there is a big difference between being needed and being wanted. She has made her own place in the world, with her passions, routines, people, and goals. Because a woman like her values her independence, she will likely withdraw even more if you attempt to force your way into her life by taking over or overshadowing these things. Above all, the Stoics teach us to value freedom, not only our own, but also that of others. They achieve this by emphasizing that everyone has a unique journey to follow, and that genuine connection arises from assisting rather than impeding that journey. Consider Marcus Aurelius's suggestions. In the context of relationships, be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. This includes respecting her boundaries, choices, and space while focusing on being the greatest version of yourself. Demonstrate your interest in her passion by asking her about her favorite trails or listening to her share her experiences. If she invites you to join, great. If not, show her that this is something she values as her time. Let's say she loves hiking every Saturday morning. Instead of trying to persuade her to skip it for a brunch date or tagging along uninvited, show her that you respect and admire her. Instead of showing how important you are, show her that you can stay calm. This small gesture of respecting her space and her beliefs will say a lot about your character. You are someone who enhances her life without diminishing it. This method fosters an atmosphere where she feels comfortable lowering her defenses, not because you've asked for it, but because you've earned it. Believe me, when a fiercely independent woman chooses to open her heart, it's not because she needs you, but rather because she truly wants you. That's a much stronger and more lasting bond, so respect her autonomy and her personal space. Embrace her strength without succumbing to intimidation. Give up dominating her, and you'll find you stand out like no one else. That's how you win over even the most challenging women, not through coercion, but through sincere respect and understanding, which is the second key. A Stoic approach to love isn't about possession, it's about connection. Be fascinatingly, be interesting, be mysterious and enigmatic, and resist the urge to reveal everything about yourself to her at once. Instead, disclose just enough to pique her attention and curiosity without satisfying it. A difficult-to-win-over lady frequently longs for a little mystery. Consider the analogy of reading a novel. Would you continue to read it if you knew the outcome from the first page? No, you would put it down and move on. Similarly, in relationships, if you reveal everything too soon, you run the risk of losing that sense of anticipation and mystery. It keeps her guessing and leaves her wondering about the layers of your personality that she hasn't yet discovered. One chapter at a time, let her turn the pages of your story out of curiosity. A Stoic man is more aware of this than most people are because he knows the value of self-control and restraint. To develop depth and assurance, Stoicism emphasizes appreciating what you can control and being deliberate about what you show the world. This is not about playing games. A Stoic person doesn't rush to establish his value. Instead, he allows his character, values, and behaviors to develop organically at his own speed. You're on a date and she asks about your past relationships or your dreams for the future. Instead of diving into a long, detailed explanation, you offer her a glimpse just enough to be honest, but not enough to lay everything bare. For example, instead of saying, "I've been through a rough breakup and it took me years to heal," you might say, "I've learned a lot from my past, and it shaped how I approach life today." That response is honest, intriguing, and leaves room for her to ask more if she's truly interested. By holding back a little, you're showing her that you value your story and won't just give it away to anyone, and in turn she'll begin to value it too. This isn't about manipulating, it's about creating a dynamic where she feels genuinely invested in getting to know you, that she becomes intrigued as you gradually reveal your depth, prompting her to inquire further and learn more. This approach's appeal lies in its reflection of confidence, a trait that greatly appeals to women. Confidence says, "I don't need to prove myself to you because I know my worth," and that's something she'll notice. She'll start to see you not just as a man she's interested in, but as a man worth investing in emotionally now. Consider for a moment what it means to be intriguingly mysterious and to gradually expose yourself so that someone can explore the facets of your tale at their own pace. We would be interested in hearing your thoughts and experiences about instances where maintaining a slight distance deepened and enhanced the significance of your relationships. Let's establish a space where we can all learn from each other's experiences. Feel free to share your tale in the comments, or if you don't have much time, just say "mystery" to let us know you're thinking about this idea. Travels and revelations. Third, sincere curiosity, genuine curiosity about her. If you're trying to win the heart of a woman who seems difficult to approach, the first thing to understand is this: she's not difficult because she wants to be, but because life has likely shaped her to be cautious. And discerning women like this want to be understood for who they truly are, not for the assumptions others make based on appearances or fleeting interactions. They crave depth, authenticity, and someone who sees beyond the surface. Start by asking her genuine questions, not just the kind of questions that fill silences, but the ones that uncover her essence. For instance, instead of the usual "how's your day?" try, "What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet?" Or "What's a dream of yours that still lights a fire in your heart?" These questions go beyond small talk. They show her that you're interested in her as a person, not just in how she makes you feel. And when she answers, really listen, not just with your ears but with your full presence. Don't interrupt. Don't try to relate it back to your own experiences right away. Just absorb what she's saying. This idea is essential in this situation. Marcus Aurelius once observed, "You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Use them in that proportion." A woman who's been misunderstood or dismissed in the past will notice and appreciate when someone listens without an agenda. Here's the tricky part. Don't judge her answers. She might reveal dreams that seem unconventional or values that differ from your own, and that's okay. Approach her with curiosity, not criticism. In Stoicism, we're taught that every person carries their own burdens, their own battles. We cannot see her difficult exterior. It might just be armor forged from years of being let down or misjudged. By showing her that you can hold space for her thoughts and emotions without rushing to categorize or analyze them, you're giving her something rare: safety. For instance, she may share with you a passion she has, perhaps one that others have mocked or dismissed. She may be deeply engrossed in a niche art form, or she may have a dream of starting a business that others may consider impractical rather than questioning its feasibility. Show interest in the reasons behind her passion. Ask what sparked your love for that, or how it makes you feel when you're doing it. The secret is constancy. This curiosity demonstrates to her that you stand out from the herd and fosters confidence. If you want her to fall in love with you, she must see that your interest isn't ephemeral, that you're patient enough to understand her, that you're steady enough to handle her complexities, and that you're humble enough to acknowledge that you're still learning how to love her the way she deserves. Strong women have seen words without action, promises without follow-through, and interest that fades as quickly as it appeared. Number 4. Remember that the hardest women often have the greatest capacity for love, but they must feel like their partner sees them for who they are, not just their appearance, if you can be that person. Besides making her fall in love, you'll create an unbreakable bond. Accept her and all of her difficulties. Let me tell you something straight. She's not going to make it easy for you, that's just the way it is, but don't let that discourage you. In fact, take it as a challenge, a sign that she values herself enough to be cautious. Strong, independent women often test the waters, not because they want to push people away, but because they want to see who's genuinely invested. They're not looking for someone who folds at the first sign of resistance. They're looking for someone who understands their worth and is willing to earn their trust. This is where your patience and persistence come into play. If you react to her resistance with frustration or impatience, you're only proving her right. Instead, approach the situation with a calm, steady energy that says, "I'm not going anywhere." Think of the Stoic principle of focusing only on what you can control: your actions, your attitude, your effort. You can't control how quickly she lets her guard down, but you can control how consistently you show up, how genuinely you listen, and how respectfully you treat her. Imagine she pulls back or seems distant. Instead of panicking or questioning your worth, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what is within my power here? You might decide to give her space, showing her that you respect her autonomy, or you might choose to reach out in a thoughtful way that demonstrates you're paying attention to who she is, not just what you want from her. Maybe it's as simple as remembering something she mentioned in passing and bringing it up later, a small act that proves you were truly listening. A difficult woman doesn't fall in love easily because she doesn't trust easily, and that's not a flaw, it's her strength. But when you approach her with the right mindset, one rooted in respect, patience, and emotional consistency, her walls will begin to lower. Think of it like water carving through stone. It doesn't happen in one forceful surge, but through steady, patient effort over time. Your calm persistence is what will make her realize you're not just another fleeting presence in her life, but someone who genuinely sees her and values her for all she is. So when you face those moments of resistance, don't see them as obstacles, see them as opportunities to prove your character. Let your actions, not just your words, show her that you're here for the long game, not just for a fleeting moment. Remember, the love of a strong woman isn't given freely, it's earned, and if you're willing to meet her where she is with patience and steady effort, it's worth every step of the journey. Before we move on to the next point, take a moment to reflect on this. How do you respond when faced with resistance or challenges in your relationships? Do you see them as obstacles to overcome or as opportunities to grow and deepen your connection? I would love to know what you think. In the comments section below, share your experiences. Tell me about a moment when you remained composed under pressure, or if you're short on time, simply type "patience" in the comments to demonstrate your commitment to this advice. Let's continue the conversation. Your story could just motivate someone else. Number 5 is quite emotional. Demonstrate emotional steadiness. The fact is that women like this value emotional stability above all else. They require a companion who not only navigates through life's challenges, but also cultivates inner peace. If she's having a bad day or feels overwhelmed, you need to show her that you're not the type of person who crumbles under pressure, but rather that you stay grounded and unfazed by her emotional highs and lows. That's where trust starts to grow. When you think about it, a bold, strong woman doesn't want someone who replicates her chaos. She wants someone who can provide balance and stability. This is the moment when Stoicism emerges as your most powerful attribute. Mastering your responses when life presents unexpected challenges and maintaining your composure sends a powerful message. Ally Stoicism isn't about denying your emotions or acting as though nothing bothers you. Here's an example. I possess this, just as I possess you. Most people would try to argue back or withdraw completely when she vents after a stressful day at work, but a man who exemplifies emotional stability does neither. Instead, he listens without interrupting or attempting to solve her problems right away, acknowledging her feelings with calm, steady energy and saying something like, "I can see how much this is bothering you, and I'm here to support you." The act of being present without adding to the chaos does more than words can ever express. Over time, she will begin to identify you with serenity, a rare and important characteristic. As a result, she will feel more comfortable opening up to you because she knows you won't try to control her, judge her, or lose yourself in her storms. While we can't control others' feelings or behaviors, we can control how we react to them in Stoicism. You can reassure her and show her that you can handle life's challenges by adopting this idea. The key is to be her pillar of strength, not through heartlessness, but through unwavering calm, and demonstrate to her that you can navigate her challenges without succumbing to fear. When a bold woman falls in love with you, she will love you with the same intensity she approaches everything else in life. Grace, let me tell you, is attractive on a deep, primal level. A woman who often presents herself as difficult requires a partner who can manage her complexity without making her feel overwhelmed. Keep up your own. When attempting to win over a challenging woman, keep your own personality intact. The key is to be yourself and not chase her or seek her approval. Don't compromise your values and goals in an attempt to win her over, especially if she is strong-willed or difficult to impress and doesn't only appreciate ostentatious gestures or surface-level charm. She genuinely admires the depth of your character, your objectives, and your sense of self. Let that drive be your compass. When a woman sees a man who knows his worth and pursues his ambitions with determination, it draws her in. It's as magnetic as a Stoic, and your foundation is your self-respect. If you compromise who you are to meet others' expectations, how can you expect love? You need personal goals, interests, and passions that inspire you. It could be your career, a creative endeavor, or a mission. Epictetus advised knowing yourself first, then dressing appropriately, which entails knowing your basic principles and never deviating from them, regardless of who you're attempting to win over. By remaining loyal to yourself, you'll not only get her respect, but also show that you're a person worth investing in. A man bases his decisions on his convictions and is self-assured in his path. He doesn't seek approval from others. Consider this situation. You're interested in a woman who has a reputation for being difficult to win over, so instead of attempting to impress her or change who you are to meet her demands, you concentrate on being the greatest version of yourself and show her how resiliently you deal with obstacles at work. You prioritize your physical and emotional health, and you progressively demonstrate kindness and respect towards others. She sees that your confidence isn't a show. Rather, it's based on a strong foundation of self-control and purpose, which is far more impressive than any flimsy attempt to win her approval. The proper lady will value the man you are, not the man you act like, and this is a profound lesson. If you're sincere, grounded, and unwavering in your values, you'll establish a connection that's real, meaningful, and genuine. She will recognize that you are not merely an individual who is attempting to win her affection. You are proving to her that you are a person who is worthy of her affection. Stay true to your path, respect yourself, and let your actions reflect the man you want to be. If you've read this far, it's obvious that you're committed to learning not only how to connect with someone more deeply, but also how to honor yourself in the process. Take a moment to consider what you've read. Have you maintained your values, goals, and identity in relationships? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you ever been in a circumstance where remaining true to yourself was crucial? Post your story in the comments section below. If you're uncertain about what to say, a powerful affirmation that encapsulates everything we've discussed is, "I am worth staying true to myself." Together, let's start a dialogue that encourages personal development. The seventh is authenticity and respect. Establish consistency to foster trust. Let's discuss trust. Establish consistency to build trust. Not everything happens overnight, especially when you're dealing with a woman who has experienced disappointment in the past. She may have put up barriers to protect herself, or life may have taught her to be wary. If you're serious about winning her love, realize that trust is the cornerstone of your relationship and that it takes time, effort, and genuineness to build. Yes, words matter, but deeds are what really matter. For example, you may tell her you'll contact her after work and then follow through on it. Alternatively, you could promise to support her at a significant event and then consistently show up without any excuses. This level of constancy, she will test you not to make things more difficult, but because her heart is her most prized possession, will you treat it with care, or will you let it fall apart like so many others have? Safety, let's face it, is the cornerstone of love, and the alignment between your words and deeds is what gives her a sense of security. Stoicism encourages us to value integrity so that, despite how difficult it may be, our words and deeds match. Even in hard times, be your most trustworthy and honest self. If you promise her something, keep your word. If you say you'll be there, prove it every time. Over time, she'll realize that you're not like the others. You're not just another smooth talker who fades when things get tough. You're someone she can rely on. For instance, if she's experienced past disappointments from individuals who failed to uphold her boundaries or fulfill their promises, her reluctance to share may stem from her fear of experiencing such pain once more. In this situation, you can either become irate and retreat, or show her that you're not here to repeat those mistakes. She will open up when she feels ready, and when she does, she will know it's because you have earned her trust. This isn't about making big gestures or impressing her with extravagant promises. It's about the little things. If she is reluctant to express her feelings, don't force her. Instead, demonstrate that you are a steady, calming presence. The attempt to remember her preferences and dislikes, the way you listen to her when she speaks stoically, and the text to check on her well-being serve as reminders. Love, like trust, is about what you give, not about what you get. By being a man of character who is unflinching in the face of adversity, you're demonstrating to her that love need not be chaotic or uncertain, but rather that it can be steady, strong, and unwavering. The truth is that a difficult woman isn't difficult because she's trying to make things difficult for you. Rather, she's just trying to protect herself. When you approach her with integrity, patience, and the wisdom of Stoicism, you demonstrate to her that it's acceptable to gradually lower her guard because she will feel safe in your company and will not only start to trust you, but fall in love with you. Number 8. Honor her. Celebrate her strengths. One of the easiest ways to make her stand out in her eyes is to highlight her strengths. While most people might concentrate on compliments about her appearance, style, or mannerisms, which are nice things to acknowledge, they're frequently what she hears from everyone. You have the opportunity to delve deeper. You have the opportunity to enhance her IQ, her goals, her fortitude, or the way she handles difficulties. If she shares with you a project she's been working on non-stop, or a personal goal she's been aiming to accomplish, rather than just saying, "That's great," show her you're paying attention by saying something like, "The amount of thought and passion you've poured into this is incredible." Express your appreciation for her kindness and work ethic. It's encouraging to see someone so committed. By doing this, you're acknowledging her essence rather than only complimenting her. Her work and her principles are what make someone feel noticed. A Stoic viewpoint can be a powerful tool. Here, Stoicism instructs us to prioritize a person's character and virtues over transient, surface-level attributes. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of valuing the good in others, and this applies to relationships as well. When you appreciate her for her strengths, her virtues, and the qualities that make her stand out, you're showing her something rare, that you value her as a person, not just as someone to pursue. Think about it. This way. When you approach a woman who may seem difficult or hard to reach, it's likely because she's built walls for good reasons. She's likely endured shallow praise or insincere attempts to win her over, and she's become selective about who she lets in. Approach her with genuine admiration for who she is, not just her appearance. You demonstrate that you're not like the others. You're patient, thoughtful, and perceptive. For example, if she's highly independent and has achieved a lot on her own, don't shy away from acknowledging it. Tell her it's amazing how much you've accomplished through your own determination. It shows so much strength and confidence. This not only validates her efforts, but also aligns with a Stoic mindset of admiring resilience and self-sufficiency. When you concentrate on her inner world, she will experience a rare and meaningful sense of connection, which is where true attraction starts to grow. Ultimately, winning over a difficult woman isn't about trying to prove yourself or tearing down her walls with force. Rather, it's about demonstrating to her through your words and deeds that you respect, understand, and admire her for who she is. Let me tell you something. Most men know when to back off, recognize when it's appropriate to retreat. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that constant communication or relentless pursuit will somehow prove your worth or show her how much you care. But let me assure you that with women who are self-reliant and know their value, this approach often backfires. These women cherish their independence, their alone time, and the freedom to navigate their emotions without feeling pressured if they request space. When it comes to winning the heart of a fiercely independent woman, or what some might call a difficult woman, they don't understand the value of giving her space. Seneca wisely stated that in this situation, no wind is favorable if a man is unsure of his destination. The port is your emotional stability and respect for her independence. You can't control how quickly or if she falls in love with you, but you can control your response to her requests. Don't panic, don't chase, and most definitely don't take it as rejection. Instead, honor her request and show her that you respect boundaries and don't need to smother her to feel secure. Space. By remaining calm and not reacting rashly, you demonstrate to her that you're grounded and purposeful rather than desperate or aimless. Your display of restraint and respect conveys a powerful message. You respect her autonomy, you recognize the importance of creating space, and you possess the confidence to allow events unfold organically. In doing so, you embody a quiet strength that stands out, a calmness that allows her to see your worth in her own time. For example, When you're texting her and the conversation becomes a little distant, she may tell you that she has a lot on her plate or that she needs some time to think. The untrained man may begin to panic, sending more messages asking if she's okay or attempting to solve her problems, but you take a different approach and respond calmly, saying, "I completely understand. Take all the time you need." Then you let her come to you. By not putting any pressure on her, you give her the opportunity to miss you, think about your maturity and composure, and understand that your relationship isn't about neediness or control. Instead, you're demonstrating to her that you're stable, self-assured, and most importantly, secure within yourself. Over time, this type of emotional stability becomes alluring. If you want her to fall in love with you, start by becoming a better version of yourself and respecting her boundaries. Love isn't about imposing someone into your life. Rather, it's about creating an atmosphere where she feels comfortable enough to join you voluntarily. When you approach a difficult lady with respect, understanding, and the quiet force of Stoicism number 10, you'll discover that she isn't as difficult as you initially thought. Be patient and allow her to see the strength in your composure. Share your intentions with the world. Take your time, observe her, understand her motivations, and allow your actions to carry more weight than mere words. Difficult women value intentionality and notice when someone pays attention to the little things, like how they like their coffee. When the time is right, be honest about how you feel. However, timing is everything. Rushing into grand confessions or over-the-top declarations after one date will come across as insincere or worse, desperate. The literature they read or the subtle way they express their emotions can make a significant impact. As Seneca famously stated, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." And this statement sums up the circumstances well. When the time comes, a Stoic man will have prepared himself through self-discipline, patience, and understanding. He doesn't rush things or let his emotions control his actions. Instead, he focuses on what he can control. His thoughtfulness and consistency in his approach will make all the difference. When you do express your feelings, be specific and thoughtful rather than using platitudes like, "You're the most amazing woman I've ever met." Let her know what it is about her that makes her stand out. For instance, "I admire how you always seem to hold your ground and stand by what you believe even when it's not the easiest thing to do. It's rare, and it's something I truly respect about you." This shows her that you see and value her unique qualities, not just her appearance or surface-level traits. There are frequently explanations for why a lady is challenging or challenging to win over. Meeting her at that level shows her that you are patient and stable, even if she has been disappointed or doesn't accept less than she deserves. Living with integrity and composure will make you stand out naturally, and your patience will show strength. It's about being the kind of man who can be her equal without trying to dominate her, chase her too much, or persuade her to lower her defenses too soon. Over time, she will realize that you are more than just a passing acquaintance, but rather someone who can truly share her journey, at which point the barriers will fall and love will blossom as we wind up our relationship. Your attentiveness will demonstrate sincerity, and your calm manner will give her a sense of security. Finally, let's take a moment to consider the path we've traveled today. Building a relationship with a woman who challenges you isn't about using gaudy tactics or hurrying the process. Rather, it's about creating something genuine that will withstand time and complexity, from valuing her independence to projecting emotional stability. The key takeaway is that relationships aren't about tearing down someone's walls. Rather, they're about building trust, being consistent, and creating a connection where both people can grow. When you approach love with calm confidence and respect, you'll discover that the most fulfilling relationships are built rather than chased. If you found these insights insightful, please share which tip most resonated with you, or if you have your own tactics to share, leave a comment below. I'd love to continue the conversation, so before you leave, remember to like this video and share it with someone who might benefit from these insights today. You should also take a moment to look at the suggested videos on the screen, which are full of additional perspectives and advice to help you handle relationships with poise and knowledge. I appreciate you viewing, and I'll see you in the upcoming video.